Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, including Butch Goring, standing by, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort, located oceanside in beautiful Parksville. The Bayside is one of Vancouver Island's premier getaway spots. With summer right around the corner, Parksville provides endless adventure, including beaches, golf, breweries, and more, all minutes away from the Bayside. Call now to book your reservation and mention Donnie and Dolly for 10% off your nightly room rate. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com or call 250-248-8333. Butch Goring goes to the Islanders from the LA Kings. I talked about this. 19 wasn't available. Why? Because Brian Trotz was wearing it.
Oh, right. Trotz had 19.
Butch, being extremely creative, switches his reverses the numbers, becomes number 91, and the rest is history. 4 Stanley Cups and all of that. Barry Trotz is out as a head coach of the Islanders. Here to talk about it, Islanders color analyst on MSG, Butch Goring. Butch, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I hope everything is great in Vancouver for you guys.
It is. It is for us. The Canucks, that's another story. Hopefully things will get better for them. Were you the first player to reverse numbers like that, to go from 19 to 91?
I'm not sure who started. A lot of it came from retiring jerseys. Like I remember in Boston, Phil Esposito wore 7, and then Ray Bourque wore 7, and so Ray ended up wearing 77. And then I actually think the highest number that before I did anything was Gretzky. He had 91, I think, and I think he was one of the real first guys to get into the high numbers.
Hey, switching to today, to yesterday actually, Butch, what led to Barry Trotz's dismissal with the Islanders?
If I knew that, I'd be a rich guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody was caught off guard with that move. Certainly, there was nothing in the wind, and we all know Barry's reputation and what he's accomplished in his entire coaching career, and certainly what he accomplished since he's been here on the island. So that really caught everybody off guard.
Should he not have been, I don't know what your opinion is, Butch, or how much you can say, should he not have been given some leeway? Tough season this year. They don't make the playoffs. First 13 games are on the road. There's a COVID outbreak. And the 3 seasons before that were fabulous. Should he not have been given some leeway?
Well, if he was let go because of the season, then, I certainly would have some concerns there. But, in the conversation that everybody was listening to with Lou, is that he didn't really give any indication as to why it all happened. So it's, to say he should have been given more leeway, that would be total speculation on my part. What I will tell you is that, Barry Trotz, first and foremost, is an incredibly nice guy. I mean, he is good to everybody, the family on the team, the players, and just everybody he meets. And you're going to love Barry Trotz if you didn't know him, anything to do with hockey. He's just a tremendous individual and brought a lot of class to the organization. And as far as a coach is concerned, well, again, his record speaks for itself. I mean, the second most winning coach in the history of the NHL, and been there almost longer than anybody, I think, other than Scotty Bowman. So he's going to get gobbled up in a hurry. Yep. I mean, whether you guys take him in Vancouver, whether Winnipeg takes him, Detroit, Philadelphia, this is a guy that preaches defense first, and most general managers would tell you that defense, offense wins games and defense wins championships. So it's the only thing I can say is it's a horrible loss. Everybody on the island, the fans are in an uproar because the fans not only feel like they lost a really good coach, but they lost a really good person.
Hey, Butch, speculation out there that Matt Barzal, who's from these neck of the woods, wasn't getting along with the head coach there, Barry, just simply because his point totals were down. What was that relationship with Barzal and Trotz?
Well, from what I could see, and again, I'm not inside the dressing room, but it seemed to go really well. I mean, I think Matt Barzal has made tremendous progress as a player from from day one. You know, he was he was a gunslinger. I mean, nobody can turn quicker on a dime than Matt Barzal, and that includes just about anybody you want to name. I mean, he's an incredibly gifted player, but like most young kids who go through minor hockey and junior hockey, who are incredibly skilled, is they don't learn to play in their own zone. I mean, because they have the puck so much, and to win championships, which was foremost on Barry's mind, was to get Matt Barzal to understand that he has certain defensive responsibilities, and I thought he was making good progress. I mean, and we always use the example on the broadcast. You got to find a way to be as close to Sidney Crosby as possible, because, or Michel Bergeron, or Patrice Bergeron, two great players, but they play in both ends of the rink, and I know Barry wanted to get Matt to that level, and never take away offense, and that's the hardest thing to sell a hockey player, and I coached a long time, and used to say to guys that are really skilled, I go, listen, just because I'm telling you need to check and you need to have a defensive responsibility, it's not going to hurt your offense, and it never does. I mean, all the great players have won Stanley Cups, and they were responsibly in both directions. I mean, there's Trotzs, there's Yzerman, there's Fedorov. I mean, you can just go down the list of people, and so, but it's a hard sell sometimes, and then it's really hard to learn to play that way when you haven't played, and you're trying to learn that at the highest level possible. So, I don't think there was any rift between Barzal and Barry. Barry only wants what's good for the player and what's good for the team. So, I never noticed anything. I know Matt would get frustrated, but I don't ever think he was frustrated at Barry. I think he was frustrated himself that he couldn't get more done.
Lou says this group needs a new voice. The players were not involved in the process of the firing, so that shoots down those rumors about Barzal. Butch, what does this team need to get back in the playoffs? What do you think they need to improve on in the summer?
Well, I think, like Lou touched on it yesterday, I mean, we need someone that can carry the puck out of the defensive zone. I mean, they moved Nick Leddy I think for different reasons, and I'm not going to speculate what that was, but they need a top four defenseman, and someone who can bring some offense to the table, yet at the same time can play a responsible game. I think that's high on Lou's list. And much has been said about the Islanders' lack of scoring. They haven't had a sniper. Certainly, Brock Nelson had a breakout year last year. Anders Lee came back strong in the second period. But and again, there's not a lot of Mike Bossy's lying around, is there? I mean, it's not easy to just okay. Excuse me, I'll go down the local corner store and give me that 40 to 50 goal scorer. Could the Islanders use that? Absolutely.
Hey, Butch, back to what's happening with the head coach, the head coaching situation. Trotz is out. Are there names being thrown around in terms of possible replacements?
No, not from Lou.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, you've got Bruce Boudreau, and you've got
Travis Green.
Travis Green.
Yeah, Travis Green. Yeah, that
Babcock.
I mean, all. Babcock. I mean, all the guys that have had coaching experience, and their names are going to pop out, and so Lou, I'm sure, is going to go through his process of what he thinks is appropriate, and go from there. So Lou keeps, as you guys well know, keeps everything really close to the vest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Butch, before we let you go, you mentioned a name there. I know it's been a few weeks now, but we've lost some great hockey players, some great men. The Islanders have been hit hard. Clark Gillies, Jean Potvin, and you mentioned Mike Bossy. You were a longtime teammate of his. What are your memories of the great number 22?
Nothing but great memories, and as I've said on a few occasions, I mean, I had the luxury of being able to sit beside him when I first joined the team, and it was just so much fun just getting to know him as an individual. We often had different chats about a whole bunch of different things, preparation for the game, and I was completely the opposite of him. He was focused, I wasn't. I could, as they say, I could turn it on, off and on pretty readily, but we had a great time, and you know what? I never really got to play with him. A few games here and there. That guy Brian Trotz hogged him all the time. But watching a superstar, a Hall of Famer play, and I'm on record. I mean, to me, he's the greatest goal scorer the game has ever seen. I mean, yeah, I know there are people with more goals, but his average per season is better than anybody else's.
It is,
and I don't think anybody. Yep. And I don't think anybody will ever touch his, 9 straight years, right from the rookie season to the time he basically retired, of 50 goals a year. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And to watch him, the way he played and the way he practiced, and his desire to get better day in and day out, and to be not just known as a goal scorer, but known as a complete hockey player was really fun for me to watch. So I mean, that to me is one of the best memories of all. Is because people talk about Bossy being a goal scorer, but they don't realize how good a player he really was in every facet of the game.
What a player! What a team that was, Butch. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, Butch. All the best.
Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.